Germany versus Russia. In 1812, the French leader Napoleon proudly marched into Russia with a massive army of 600,000 men. About 20,000 of those soldiers were from Prussia, forced to tag along. Russia played dirty. The Russians knew they might lose a straight fight, so they used a brutal trick, the scorched earth tactic. As they retreated, they burned everything behind them: the houses, crops, the supplies. They left nothing for Napoleon's army to eat or to use. Moscow burns. Napoleon entered to find an empty, burning ruin with no food or shelter. With the brutal Russian winter approaching, he got scared and had to retreat. Winter was the real killer. The retreat was a nightmare. There was no food, and the cold was unbearable. Countless French and Prussian soldiers starved or froze to death. Out of 600,000 men, only 30,000 men made it back alive. The losses were huge. Prussia changed sides. Seeing Napoleon weakened, Prussia immediately switched sides. They teamed up with Russia and together they defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Leipzig. In 1813, Russia became a hero in Europe, seen as the savior. Prussia broke free from being a French puppet, carried out military reforms, and grew much stronger. The victory became a huge source of Russian pride, celebrated later by great writers like Pushkin and Tolstoy. World War I. Eastern Front was a human meat grinder. What did they fight? Money problems. Germany used the trade policies to hurt Russian grain exports, which is Russia's main source of income. Russia retaliated with high tariff on German goods. An economic war started. Germany was building a backed-up railway, which Russia saw as a threat to its access to the sea. They also competed for influence in places like Persia, Balkans. August 1914, the Germans were brutal. They surrounded and wiped out the Russian Second Army, killing or capturing about 92,000 men. Russia's plan to attack Germany from the east was ruined. Mazovia Lakes battles, 1914 to 1950. The Germans kept pounding the Russians, crippling the First Army and inflicting 250,000 casualties. Germany took full control of the Eastern War. June 1916, the Russians fought back hard against the Germany's ally, Austria-Hungary, and actually broke their lines. But the victory came at a terrible cost. Over 1 million Russian soldiers were lost. This victory basically broke the Russian economy and army. Russia collapsed. Russian money became worthless. Prices soared, and people in the capital couldn't even buy bread. The country fell into revolution. In 1917, the new leader, Lenin, signed a humiliating peace treaty with Germany. Russia had to give up a huge amount of land to get peace, making Germany dominant in Eastern Europe for a while. World War II, a fight to the death. Why did Germany attack the Soviet Union? Hitler was crazy. He believed Slavic people were inferior and should be enslaved or eliminated. He wanted their land for Germans to live on, desperate for oil. Germany needed oil to fight. 85% of oil was imported. Hitler wanted the oil fields in the Soviet Caucasus region. He was overconfident. Hitler thought the Soviet Union was a rotten house that would collapse with one kick. His Operation Barbarossa planned to take Moscow in just 3 months. September 1941, the German troops pulled off a huge encirclement, capturing 660,000 soldiers of Soviet Union. That was the largest encirclement in military history. Germany won, but it delayed the attack on Moscow. Battle of Stalingrad, 1942 to 1943. This was hell on earth. They fought for every street and every building. The Soviets held on desperately and finally surrounded and destroyed Germany's elite Sixth Army. German losses reached 2 million. After this, Germany was on the back foot. Battle of Kursk, July 1943, the biggest tank battle in history. thousands of tanks clashed. The Germans tried one last major offensive but were crushed, losing 3,000 tanks. They never recovered on the Eastern Front. In 1944, the Soviets launched Operation Bagration, which smashed the German army group in the center. They pushed all the way west to Berlin. The cost was horrific. The Soviet Union lost about 27 million people, including 18 million civilians. Germany lost 4 million soldiers on the Eastern Front, 80% of its total World War II deaths. Victory was built on a mountain of bodies. As a result, Germany lost both world wars, even getting split into two countries after the second one. Soviet Union won the Second World War, but at the staggering cost of tens of millions of people's lives. The bloody history teaches us one thing: any countries who thinks he can easily conquer Russia will likely end up frozen, exhausted, and defeated on the vast plains of Eastern Europe. For centuries, Germany and Russia have fought over land and resources. Germany always wanted to expand itself eastward, while Russia fought desperately to defend itself and sometimes push back. So that's pretty much of it. Leave the comments below if you like more of these videos. I'll see you in the next one.